in my hometown of Porterville, California. My father's name is on 3 different monuments there because of the people of the city wanted to remember their young men who went off to battle. So there's sections for the different wars, and at the bottom there's Korean conflict. They have, his name was Ralph Moisa, and name is Ralph Moisa Jr. Well, I come here to remember my father who died during the Korean conflict. I have pictures of me as he held me, but I don't remember him. And I didn't find out more about him till I was older. And I was raised to remember his sacrifice and to remember the sacrifice of our armed forces people. And so I come here to honor him. With the flute, with the singing, with the flag that they gave me, the United States government gave me, that they put on his coffin. And I sing that honor song from our people, and I play the taps from the government people to remember him and his sacrifice on this day. This is all of our people are asked to do. So it's an honor to do that for him, even though I only knew him through the stories of my relatives and through the letters he wrote me when he was in Korea. I have some of those letters that I read every now and then to remember his words to me as a young child who couldn't even read yet. But he wrote to me, and my mother answered his letters for me. So I have those letters to remember him. And remember, he was just a young man hoping to do his bit, and he did. All of our service people deserve great honor for their sacrifices, their time, their energy, their lives. I started doing it in my later years because before I didn't understand it. And when I finally did understand it, then I would tell my children about it. And last year we brought my grandchildren, my son here to remember this and to explain to them what the sacrifices mean. And I'm going to bring them here a little later on today. This is too early for them. You know? They're just young kids in grammar school. My father had 12 brothers and sisters and 4 foster children. There's 16 in our family, in his family. And when I was growing up, I couldn't understand why there were so many Ralphs in our family. I remember his brothers and sisters honored him so much that they named their children Ralph. So there's a lot of Ralphs in our family. And that was another thing that got me curious about who he was and why they would do that. And he got to see me a couple of times and helped to create my brother when he was on leave. But he never met my brother. I like to remember him because I never knew him. I only knew the stories that people told about him and some of the things he wrote me when he was in Korea. Actually, he was writing to my mom, but he was writing to me to tell me what was going on, and she'd read it and answer for me. She'd write letters to him, and so we got all that stuff in our. My brother and I have shared those things through the years. I always bring the flag with me with the 48 stars, because that's the one they draped on his coffin, and I always fly that one on Memorial Day. We have many things to be thankful for because of our veterans. I was always, when I grew up, I never really understood the whole thing, and because I didn't grow up without a father. I had my mother married right away, and he treated us just like sons. We were just his sons, my stepfather. So I really didn't understand, what was going on. My relatives would tell me and my brother stories about our father, and then I began to understand later in life about his sacrifice and what he did. But I wasn't, and it still was confusing to me until my children started asking questions about their heritage. then all our history came up, and I got more embedded in that history, and it gave me roots to grow from. Indians here, but we're broken. We have people that are gone that we can't ask anymore. So we go to other tribes or try to remember what they did or try to put it all together. And it doesn't always work. And when it does work, we think, okay, ours is right. They're wrong, but they think they're right. So they judge the other people around them that are trying to do the same things. Says, no, you're wrong. You're doing it wrong. Well, how do they know? You know, the people are gone. We don't have anything written down. Nowadays we try to, but again, we don't have the people that were actually doing these ceremonies, doing these medicines, these healing ceremonies and healing rituals to help our people survive. In the Catholics archives, they found where actually people here were doing brain surgery, you know. And so they even found it in archaeological sites where people with holes in their head that have healed up because they fixed them somehow. And so we knew how to do these things, but now those people that did that are gone. Be the same thing here. If somebody attacked us here and our doctors were gone, who would do the healing? You know. So that's where we're at. We're a fragmented people. We tried to put things together the way we remember, we think we remember. I never claimed to be a chief. I am not a medicine man. I'm not a holy man. Sometimes I'm not even a spiritual man. And I make that plain every class I start. But I try to teach people that, you know, Indians, yes, we had a sad, terrible life, but we like to laugh. We laugh at all kinds of things. We laugh at birthday parties. We laugh at funerals. We laugh at ceremonies. All kinds of things that make us laugh and enjoy life. We're not all these sad, mad, crazy people they see in the movies or they try to put us into as they come to listen to our talks. So I try to make sure people are laughing. You know, it makes them understand our differences a lot better when they can laugh at, well, what am I laughing at? I'm laughing because I understand this. That's why. And you can change someone's mind who's dug in the dirt and won't move just by making them laugh. You know, and that's what my family taught me. So most of my family has assimilated. We're not on the reservations anymore. There are still some Moisas on the reservation in California and in the Oillies, not the Moisas, that's my great-grandmother's side, are in Tucson. That's where they call us the Yaqui, but our real name is the Yoemen. But we take the Yaqui name. You got to take what the government gives you, I guess. You know, the Meskwaki are called the Sac and Fox, and they can't present themselves to Congress unless they say they're the Sac and Fox. But they're not. They're Meskwaki. Sakiak is a city. Fox is a clan. So when the people asked them who they were telling who they were. We were Fox clan from Sakiak. So they thought they're Sac and Fox, so they called them the Sac and Fox. And so, you know, it's really weird.
Yeah. Wow, look at that.
Beautiful.
So you do what you came to do.
My sage, use my use my fan from the red-tailed hawk that our son traveled with on his journey. Sage always confuses some people. When I explain it, I say it's kind of like when white people hear their special music in their churches or their preacher talking, gets them into the right frame of mind. Sage does that for our people. Helps us get our connection to our Creator. Well, 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 hey, hey, well, hey, well, hey, well. Well, well, hey, hey, well, well, hey, well. Well, hey, hey, well, hey, well, hey, well. Well, well, hey, hey, well, hey, well. Well, hey, hey, well, hey, well. Well, hey, well, hey, well, hey, well. Well, hey, well, hey, well. Well, hey, well, hey, well. Well, hey, well, hey, well, hey, well. Later on, I'll bring my grandkids here, but they don't like getting up this early. Someday they might understand when they get older about why you do this at the beginning of the day, so you take that spirit with you to remember their sacrifices. And it's not just from the Korean conflict, but from all the wars that our young men and women have gone to sacrifice themselves to sustain us here in this country. Thank you for joining me.